Hello, can you hear me okay? Yes. Well, we will start with the presentation of the senior and fellow member procedure for the updating inside the IEEE Education Society. My name is Manuel Castro. Nice to see you today. With me, this is the Manuel Guericota and Javier García Zubia. Manuel Guericota is the Portuguese chapter coordinator, chapter chair of the Portuguese chapter here in Portugal for the Education Society. Javier García Zubia is the Spanish chapter chair. He is now not in the meeting because he has to go from one place to other place in a travel in the north of Spain. Mani Mina is our vice president of the membership.
Ya os oigo. Hola, buenas tardes.
Hello, Paco. Mani, are you there? I didn't see if Mani
Hello.
is there or not. Mani? I didn't see it because I cannot see now the attending list of the people. Well, Mani Mina is our vice president of the membership and geography activities inside the IEEE Education Society. Francisco Arcega, Paco Arcega, is the coordinator of this senior member procedure, and Edmundo Tobar is the coordinator of the fellow member procedure to the distinct having passes from different memberships there. And Oscar Bonastre is helping us with all the logistics of the webinar, and he's making the recording. Thank you all to be here. Thank you all attendees from all the part of the world. We did 1 hour ago one on Spanish and Portuguese speaking webinar too, because we have a special version in this case from the Spanish and Portuguese speaking people. And now this is a more general for all the people. Anything that we'll talk about here is available for all the people in all the world, any part of the world, States, Europe, Latin America, China. We have some people, some requests from Australian and Japanese people, but of course, this is really late time. They are after the midnight there, and they will see it in recording after it. If someone likes to make some things before to start, Manuel, would you like to say something about the Portuguese chapter, or Mani if there? No comment there. Then we will start with the... Yes, Manuel?
Hello. Just to say welcome to this presentation. This is a joint presentation between the chapter, the Portuguese and the Spanish chapter. Well, it is organized by the Spanish chapter, indeed. So thank you for being here.
The idea is to try to coordinate as much as possible, have synergies, and try and work together. In this case, Spanish and Portuguese, and of course, all the chapters in all the world. The first thing that I will talk about is the types of members we have in IEEE. In IEEE, we have the students, one of the population that we like to work with them. We have really few students inside the Education Society, only 50, or in Spain only 5, because our society is not really technical one. It's an horizontal society, mainly devoted to educational activities and education technology, but we have few students inside the society. We have to increase these kind of things, and all the chapters like to increase the number of people, of students we have in the society. The first degree of inside the society is the graduated student members. This is the younger or the young graduated members. We have around 35,000 in the IEEE, 120 in the society. And we have another two types of members that is not really a regular member, is the affiliated and associated. There are a small number of members that are not really IEEE members. They didn't have the right to vote in any place there, but they are involved in activities. But if they like to have a different position for senior member or fellow member, they have to be full members before to go inside these capabilities there. IEEE has 2 honorary members, only 30. There are really people of a high level of expertise or excellence of technology that they are numbered by the IEEE Board of Governors, the honoraries, we have near 200,000 members, 195,000 members are regular members. Inside the society, we have near 1,600 members. In Spain, we have 65, and in Portugal, we have 20. Or next level is senior member. We'll see the difference now and how to be upgraded to the senior member. We have 40,000 in all the world, 910 in the education society. In Spain, we have 70. We have more senior members than members because we have in the last 10 years doing a lot of efforts to have this upgrade for our members. And in Portugal, we have 12 senior members too. And as the last and the maximum degree inside the IEEE, is the fellow. We have 7,500 fellows in all the society, in all the IEEE, 185 in the education society, 5 in Spain, and we have no one in Portugal. And then we will start with the pass to the senior member. Paco, would you like to start?
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and good morning or good night, depending on the place you are in the world. The main importance of being a senior member is the professional recognition of the technical and professional excellence. This is important to think that excellence is the reason to being a senior member. Not everybody can be senior. We need to show every people interested in being senior member. We need to show the excellence in our activity. As well, we have several other things like a plaque, like a gift of $25, but this is not important. And as well, it's important to be eligible for being in executive positions inside the IEEE as volunteer. And we can be in as well reference for new IEEE senior members. As well, we can be invited to act as on-site reference for the advancement meeting of other senior members. Next, Manuel. The requirements or requisites for being a senior member, the main requisite is to have 10 years of activity with excellence, with a remarkable activity. As well, we need to have free reference, senior member or fellow members of the IEEE, and as well we need to fill in a web application. But for filling the application, we need to prepare all the information in order to be convincing and to have finally the prize of being senior member. Next, Manuel. How to present the form? In particular, we need to go to this link. You can see the link and you will have in the copy, and you have to prepare the IEEE number of member, or in particular senior member or fellow member of the free references, and include them in the application. As well, you need to know the email of the free references. As well, you need to fill previously a short CV, well developed and prepared in English, but you need to fill the CV for copy and paste all the information. If you prepare before, you will have no problem in filling the application. And organize yearly activities since the last academic grade, master of PhD or PhD. In particular, you need to prepare all the activities, the excellence activities, but remarking the period of time and the activities, in which is the things that do these activities or make these activities excellent. So this is important to prepare the CV, and the help we give to our members is to explain them how to fill and to prepare the CV. What we need to put in the CV? In particular, we need to write the CV with demonstrable dates and quantifiable activities. we need to put we have done this activity during that period. As well, it's important to be careful about the years of experience since the diploma or the degree. Once we have our PhD, we need to have a number of years of activity. The activities done during the 5 years of PhD are not important for the other 5 years. We need to have 10 years of activities. PhD is 5 years. We need 5 years more of activity in enterprise, researching other activities of the PhD, or teaching academic activities, lectures, but with a demonstrable importance, with some excellence. Next. The teaching experience, we need to, excuse me, but this is in Spanish. I have no time to translate, but this is important to teaching, but not only teaching. We need to show what is important in our teaching activity. What is the things we have done, why our teaching activity, lectures, practical work, final year projects is important, which is the more remarkable of our activity. Not only what we have done, no matter the activity, could be perhaps for us important, but we need to show why this activity is important. So we need to indicate the period, and not all activities must be in the same period. We need to show that this activity is 1 year or half year, and other activities, other period of time. We need to fill 10 years with a degree or master or PhD, and with activities. Next. In research experience, it's important to show that we have published different papers, but not only say, I have 10 papers, 100 papers. This is not important. The important is 10 papers or 5 papers, 5 the conferences, and telling why this paper is important. I work in this paper in such activity. I prepare this conference as for in the paper I work in that, or I was the reviewer of several papers of this conference. This is important. And in particular, if the papers or conferences are related with IEEE, is most important. So we need to select mainly our papers, most important papers, but some of them in the IEEE Congress reviews or conferences. Next. And the experience in industry, it is not important to say I am the manager of a company of 500 employees. No, the important is to say I am the manager, and my responsibility is such, and I work in such or such activity, and the importance of such activity, or what is the activities or the advantage of such idea that I put in the company, and the benefits that such activity has reported to the company. And as well, all other activities that you have prepared, working, even if you are in the university, you have worked assessing companies in different problems that they have. You can to explain what is your contribution to such activity, the contribution and the period. This is the main idea. You need to fill 10 years of activities, and all year must have activity, and important activity, no matter the activity is research, education, or involvement in industry. Next. Next. And the process is very simple. You need to fill the application in the web page of the IEEE. After this, you need to indicate in the application the free references with the numbers of members of IEEE and the email addresses. Once you have done that, automatically the system will send an email to the references and they have about time to fill in the reference. After all the process is complete, the review panel grade of the evaluation is the IEEE Ad Hoc Admission and Advancement Review Panel will study the applications and have the final decision. The panel meet every 5 or 6 times a year in different places around the world. And panel is formed by IEEE staff and IEEE senior member invited by the section and regions where the meeting is being celebrated. Typically 15 to 20 senior members take part in this admission panel. After the decision, you will receive the information, but as organizing and facilitating the process, we indicate and we supervise the CV in order to have a good CV. We can give you the different references if you don't have. And as well, we follow the process in order to check if all the free references have filled in the application form, the reference form. If one of them has not filled in the reference form, we can contact with him, or even if there is a problem with the IEEE, we can follow up this problem and try to solve the problem. Next. The support is, as I have said, advising in the filling application, finding the best free references, having a follow-up of the process, and if you need something, you can contact with Manuel Castro, who is chairing the session with me, or with Manuel Guericota, is the president of the Portuguese chapter of the Education Society, or Javier García Zubia is the president of the Spanish chapter of the Education Society. And if you need more information, you can access directly to the web pages of the IEEE with information about the elevation to senior member, or you can see a short video of senior member, but it's in Spanish. That's all for me.
Thank you. I will try to. I will try to go back.
And if someone has questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Paco. I don't know if someone that is connected has some question. We can have some minutes regarding this. Main idea is, first of all, know if you have the 10 years professional activity. You need to have in these 10 years some remarkable or some kind of activities that you are more than the average. And the idea is try to have all these activities for this year. First one is, of course, the degree that you have for the bachelor or master or PhD that you have. After this time of the academic activities, then you have to prove and to send the information of all the activities that you like to be evaluated there. Have in mind that the ideas as IEEE works is they try to have every year that you are presenting minimum of 5 if you are PhD, or 6 if you are master, or 7 if you are a bachelor. Then you have to put several years of things that should be remarkable, and every year you have to put a thing that should be, for example, one paper publishing, or you are having inside your industry and a new job or a new activity, and you have a project that you finished that was okay, the project, these kind of things that should be evaluated and should be accredited with the time and putting in the summary. All the information should be really short, not too much information. Major CV, as Paco said, it should be around 3 pages in English, trying to put years, activities, and the thing that you have in mind should be evaluated by the nominations committee there. Some comments, some questions?
This is John. I just wish to underscore what you said about putting remarkable things. Some people think that just because they've been a member or worked in industry for 10 years, that's sufficient for getting senior status, and that's not the case.
Yes, this is not the case, not. You have to put in the year that you like to be evaluated some remarkable things. For example, publish a paper. If you publish a paper in a good journal, in a good transaction, and you have this kind of publishing for this year, this should be a remarkable thing that you do for the year if, of course, the paper is remarkable. You have not only say, I published this paper this year. You have to say, I published this paper this year, and I was working in this part of the field, and inside the paper, I bring this kind of new activity, or I presented this new advance in the things that I was working, and I believe that this should be remarkable for this year. Or for example, as I told, if you have one project in your industry for 3 years, and you finish this year, and you deliver some new kind of things for another company, or you develop a new product for a new company, you are the responsible of the product development, then you can put in there that this year you finish these 3-year products, and then you finish this year with a remarkable thing there. It's not only, as you say, John, that there is the time. Time is enough. You must have the time, of course, minimum 10 years of professional activity, but the thing is that you need to prove things that should be have some kind of measurable in the things that you are providing there. For the process, of course, the first thing is that you decide to do the next step, trying to be having in mind. In this case, send an email to Francisco, to Paco, to me, or to Manuel and Javier, or to the 4 people there. In the email, send us your name, of course, your time that you are member inside the IEEE, and of course, when you have the bachelor, the master, and the PhD, or the one that you have, and the area of the field that you are having, because the 3 references has to read your CV, of course, have more or less the idea that you are preparing and you are presenting remarkable things there, and present the reference with your CV in the hand. Then the first part of the activities is to write the CV, contact with us, and then if you have some reference for any part of the world, we will use it if there should be a senior member or a fellow member. In the case of the live seniors and live fellows, will account too for the references there. But if you don't have the reference, we will find the best reference we have inside the society, with people that should be aware of the technical activities there. More questions? So we go to the fellow procedures. No more questions. Then we'll start the fellow procedure there. I will share the screen. Take a while because I have this. El Mundo will start you.
Okay. Can you show the presentation?
Yes, I will put the presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Regards, I don't know exactly, good morning, good afternoon, etc. Thank you for your attendance. The idea of this presentation is similar to the senior program, but in the case of the fellow program, I will try to give information and support to make the application to reach the grade of fellow in IEEE. So firstly, I would like to say that it's not so similar to senior program process because this is the highest grade for IEEE, so the process is more complex than senior program. They will take more time in order to make the application. We, according to our experience, we recommend to begin with this process in almost 1 year before of the deadline for the nomination. Okay, obviously you can, because takes time in order to identify which are the persons that will support all your or the global nomination. Okay, the qualifications. Firstly, I would like to say that IEEE fellow status is granted to a person with a extraordinary record of accomplishment in any of the IEEE interest area. So, because you have to be aware, that you are aiming to be part of 1% of the global members of IEEE. Okay, you are trying to join to this distinguished group in IEEE. So the first question, do you think that you have distinguished contributions, great contributions to your area, extraordinary contribution to your area? This is the first question. If you think that you have them, so you can begin with the process. This grade is conferred by the IEEE Board of Directors. I will try next, please, Manuel. I will explain the main actors that are playing a role in this process, as well the process that a candidate need to follow in order to reach this grade. The first one, okay, the main actors are obviously the candidate, and the another one is the nominator. The nominator is any person, including non-members, could play the role of nominators. So the main responsibility of the nominator will be to fill in the nomination form. That is, all the process is an online process that the nominator can follow in the IEEE web page. Okay, the only restriction or exception that avoid to be a nominator is if the nominator is a member of one of the organizational units of IEEE that can be in conflict with this process. That is the fellow committee, the IEEE Board of Directors, etc. Okay, and the next role, the next direct role, obviously, next please, is the candidate. The requirements of the candidate, the first one is that it has to be a senior member or IEEE Life senior member. And he or she must have completed 5 years of service in this grade of membership. And according to the first idea that I told, the candidate has accomplishment that have contributed importantly to the advancement or application of engineering, science, technology, and providing a significant value of society. Next, please. Manuel, please, next. Okay, the nominator, the main responsibility is to fill in the form, the nomination form. This nomination form is on the web page of the society. This is a form that includes many information about the candidate. obviously the data, personal data about the nominee, about the nominator, about the academic qualifications, and the professional history. The main section of this form, there will be the individual contributions. These contributions, I will explain in more detail at the end of this presentation, can be of several profiles. But the nominator has to describe which are these contributions, why the candidate, the merits, the candidate can reach the fellow degree. Another section of this form, there will be evidences of the technical accomplishment. So there will be, according, if the merits are patents or publications, participations in important projects. Okay, in this form, the nominator has to include the evidences that justify the main accomplishments that has been described previously on the form. And finally, a description of the IEEE activities, non-IEEE activities, and by last, the proposed citation. The citation is a brief summary describing in 1 or 2 lines, describing the contributions of the candidate. And finally, which are the IEEE Society of Technical Council that they will be the first evaluator of this nomination. Okay, which is the area, according to the interests of the different societies, in which society are you applying this nomination? Okay, so these are the responsibility of the nominator to fill in the nomination form, and the nomination form must be complemented with the opinion of the references and endorsement. These are 2 other roles in this process. Next, please, Manuel.
Edmundo, may I ask a question? John?
Yes.
Could you clarify the difference between references and endorsements?
Yes, I am going to explain in the next slide.
Oh, okay, fine, thank you. Okay.
Okay, the reference should be a fellow member. So this is the kind of support, or one of the kind of support that we can provide as Education Society, because we have, okay, we are members. Some of us are members of the board of governors of the society, and we have contact with the list of, or we have contact with another fellow, so we can help to the candidate to find which is the more appropriate fellows for this nomination. So the main features is that the reference has to be a IEEE fellow member. And the minimum, the references that has a nomination are 5, between 5 and 8 reference for the nomination. Next, please. And endorsement could be any person, obviously any prestigious person that can accredit the activity or the contribution, the accomplishment of the candidate, but it's not need to belongs to IEEE. And endorsements are optional. You can include up to 3 endorsements in the nomination form. This is the difference. The individual, the fellow, the reference should be fellow person, and endorsement is optional and could be any person. Okay, next one. Okay, always in the case of the nominator, in the case of the reference, of endorsement, the main for this person to be eligible, the only restriction is that they shouldn't be in conflict with the membership of the different committees that has a different role in this process, in this nomination process. So once the nomination form has been delivered with the deadline of 1st of March 1st, so the process follows with two evaluations. The first evaluation that will be completed by the IEEE Society Technical Council that is identified on the nomination form. And obviously there will be an evaluation of the nomination form and the citation of the form. The second evaluation there will be done by the IEEE fellow. The first evaluation will be done by the specific evaluation fellow committee of the Technical and Society Council that is identified on the nomination form. And the second evaluation that will be by the IEEE fellow committee. Finally, the slate of nominees that will be published by the board of directors. Next, please. Okay, the first evaluation is this, as I said, is the fellow evaluating committee chair. Each society or technical council will organize a committee of experts in order to evaluate all the candidates referred to by the nominator. They will review the citation and submit the scores by June 15. To who? Next one, please. To the fellow committee. The fellow committee evaluate approximately 100 candidates every year, and they will evaluate the candidates submitted by every society or technical council of IEEE. So there will be an evaluation of the individual contributions, the evaluation, the scores provided by the IEEE Society Council, the opinions provided by the references and endorsement, the professional activities, the total years in the profession, etc. Next one, please. Next. So, and finally, the third organizational unit of IEEE that for part of this evaluation process, there will be the board of directors that they will receive all the fellow recommendations by the fellow committee, and every time yearly will publish the slate of candidates that has been chosen has been selected as fellow members. So I repeat the idea that they have a threshold in order to quantify the number of fellows that could be approved or selected every year. This is more or less 1% of the body membership on record as of 31 December of the year precedent. Okay, this is, so okay, they manage this threshold in order to make this slot. And finally, in order to know that you, if you are thinking to do this nomination, you have to be identified with one of the profiles that are provided by IEEE. So you can make the nomination or make the application because you are strong and you are enough merits as engineer, a practitioner, or you can do it as educator with the profile as educator, as a research engineer or scientist, or finally the fourth profile that you can chosen is as technical leader. No? You have to identify with one of these profiles in order to provide all the documentation that there will be included in the nomination form. Next one, please. Okay, so with this idea, with this time, with this schedule, you can have an idea in order to you take the decision to apply for fellow. You have to manage all this calendar. No? So the nomination form, the deadline is 1st of March. The Society Council of the evaluating fellow committee for every society or technical council is 15 June. The fellow committee will make the final review by September, and finally on November, the board of directors approve the slate of fellow members or the new fellow members. This is the timeline. So our advice, according to our experiences, I repeat, is try to make all this process in several months. So because to get contacts with references to write the nomination forms take time. So it's important to plan in advance all this process and to take several months in order to do it. Okay, and finally the next slide, the next one. Okay, and on the web page you can find all the information that I summarized here in the presentation, but you have additional documents as a user guide for nominators, for the candidate, and information about, for instance, the statistics in the last year. So these statistics are classified according to affiliation, the region, society, technical council, etc. So you can, depending on the society, in our case, the education society, you can pay attention to the number of the nominations that were submitted in the previous years, how many of them were approved, in order to have a general idea about the context that you are competing with others in order to reach this grade. Okay, I think this is the last one, no? Manuel, the last slide. Yes. Okay, I repeat. Our message is that we try to provide the support in order to follow up all the nomination process that basically is the supporting the development of as nominators, if you want. We can support all the process in order to submit the nomination form by March 1st. So if you want to have interest or additional information about the kind of support that we can do, you can get contact with us in our emails, with me, with Manuel, Manuel Jericota, and Javier Zubia. Okay, this is, I don't know if you have questions. Or...
Thank you, Edmundo. Do you have some questions there? As Edmundo said, the first thing that a prospect to be having in mind as a possible fellow for IEEE is to answer if you believe that you are in this group of the more representative, or that you have work that should be evaluated, having in mind in a high level of work there. The profiles and the kind of the works are really different. Every people has a different profile. Every fellow has a different profile. Some people, major part of the people, as you say, are coming from academia, for universities, of course. This is the major part of the people. A lot of people came from industry, for management in the industry, or for project development and so on. And some people go through it as a practitioner, as a leader. There is not really to be fellow, to be in a high really position, or to be the board of the COE of the company. But always you have to do work that should be really accredited that should be in excellence. For example, if you're working in standards or you're working as a technical leader in your company and you develop really good specific project that should be really remarkable because you were involved and you were the leader that allowed this project should be there. In this case, you are a really person that should be having in mind to be fellow in the future. Some comments there? Some comment, John? How is everything there?
Sorry, I was on mute. No, everything was fine. Thank you.
Thank you, John. John is one of our life fellows that we have in the society, and he's involved in other societies, and we have a lot of collaborations with him there. In any case, if you have any doubt or any comments, you can send an email to Edmundo, to me, to Manuel, or to Paco Arcega regarding the things that we have talking here today, from member to senior or from senior to member. We will put the recorded video, the recording screencast inside, and we'll put the link that we are using for the screencast videos, and we'll put the presentation too in the slideshare, having this, and any people that will be interested for the past will be really delighted to have them in mind and to start to talk and to think. Every year, Edmundo tries to, and myself and a lot of people there, we try to help people that was to be nominated for fellow, or we try to help that the people will be senior member in the process. We have a lot of possible references as seniors and as fellows. Then we have a lot of people that will really work and they will make the references, trying to have the best of each one of you and trying to present this excellence to the people that will be evaluating them inside IEEE. Thank you very much then, and if you don't have any more comments, we'll close here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.